I hate to tell you this, but bread lines are coming, and there's not going to be any bread to feed the people who are in line. And I know most of you know this, but I want to stress it over and over. It is time to prep. Here we have on March 16th, that's today, 2022, billionaire supermarket CEO, buy now. Food inflation will only get much worse. And this is on Fox 26 Houston. John Kadamus, the billionaire owner and CEO of New York supermarket chain, urged Americans to buy now because food inflation will only get much worse. I've seen price increases coming through the month of March. I see them coming through April and May. Between price increases and shrinkflation, where it used to be 32 ounces, now it's going to be 28 ounces. It's anywhere from a 12 to 20% increase in food. And I would bet that's way low. I would bet we're going to have even more of an increase. Then we have, here's how much inflation is costing Americans each month. This is CBS News. And they say it's about $296 a month. I tend to think that's really low. And again, this is March 15th. And then if we look over here, nearly 2.8 million birds, mostly chickens and turkeys, have died in the first month of America's raging new bird flu pandemic. So you know if they're killing birds because of the bird flu, we're not going to have chicken. We're not going to have turkey. And they're already trying to get rid of beef, so there's not going to be any of that. I'm telling you now, it is time to really stock up like your life depends on it, because I'm sure it does. When one bird in the flock tests positive, all the birds have to be put down. A Missouri farm had 240,000 broiler chickens that were killed. So we have the bird flu, we have the war, catastrophic inflation. I've never seen prices jump this high this fast. We're being told that this is the highest figure in 40 years. And people who follow this website on a regular basis know that the reality is much worse than that. If inflation was calculated the way it was back in the 1980s, it would be over 15% now. And the war in Ukraine is shifting the global energy crisis into overdrive. One trucking company executive that was asked about this said that he has never seen prices jump this high this fast. We're going to get hit on every front, on every expense possible, an Oklahoma farmer said, from fertilizer to fuel to labor and insurance, everything in between, including our packing supplies. They're increasing fuel costs to power the trucks, trains, barges, and ships that make this happen. In other words, groceries are going to get more expensive, a lot more expensive. So I want you to start stocking up as much as possible. Buy just that one extra can every week. Buy that one extra bag of rice every week. Do whatever you can. The war in Ukraine is going to trigger the biggest global food crisis that any of us have ever seen. By now, World War III has erupted and it's going to push this rapidly growing global food crisis to a level that none of us have ever seen before. Now, it's not just me telling you this. It's everybody here. And you can say they're fear-mongering and they're trying to get you to do something. But I'm not selling anything. Most of these people I'm reading about aren't selling anything. I think it's time to really take it to heart and say, hey, suppose they're wrong. What's going to happen? I'll just have some extra food. And think of it like that. But it's time to get busy and to stock up as much as you can. The economic war between the United States and Russia has just shifted into overdrive. Commodity catastrophe. The Ukraine war is throwing global markets into a state of complete and utter chaos. The war in Ukraine is going to trigger the biggest global food crisis that any of us have ever seen. Food shortages may be the key to the left's Cloward Piven scheme for martial law. So martial law could be coming this way, and especially if there's no food. If there are bread lines but there's no bread, of course there's going to be martial law. Here's another one. Gas prices exploding across the U.S., leading to exploding shipping costs. And again, this is all today, March 16th. Catastrophic inflation. I've never seen prices jump this high this fast. Ukraine farmers unable to work on their fields due to the war, increasing fears of global shortage. World alternative media. Global food shortage is part of the Great Reset agenda. So I just wanted you to see some of these headlines and these articles so that you can go and look for yourself. But please, no matter what you do, start stocking up on food as much as you can, as often as you can. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment. Let us know how the stores are in your area. My bet is we're not going to see the worst of this until this harvest this summer. That's when things are going to go bad because there's just not going to be food from the harvest. And we're living now on last year's harvest. So it might not seem so bad at some of the stores, but it's going to get worse. So please comment, let us know, and thanks again for watching.